This is Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details. Here are your hosts, Joe, Matt, and Chris.
Welcome into Between the Uprights. I'm Joe, that's Matt. Chris couldn't be here with us today, but our thoughts go out to her as she's working her way back from an illness. But that doesn't mean we're not going to be here giving you all of that great football breakdown that you come to Between the Uprights for. Before we get into all that, please hit that like and subscribe button. It would mean a lot to us here at Between the Uprights. We're just getting this thing rolling here, and we would appreciate if you were to like and subscribe. Now, fall is here. The NFL is heading into week 6. Leaves are changing colors. The temperature's getting cooler out. Pumpkin spice is back into your favorite coffee chain. Changes all around us, people. And nowhere is it more apparent than under center, where teams are making quarterback changes either by force or by choice. And it just happened in New England, where we are going to finally see rookie quarterback Drake May under center in week 6 as he replaces Jacoby Brissett as QB1 in New England. This did bring up a really good thought for us here at Between the Uprights, and that is, what other team realistically needs to look to make a quarterback change heading into week 6? And Matt, I'm going to go ahead and let you run with this one real quick, man. What team needs to make a change under center heading into week 6?
So listen, Joe, everything that we just said about the Patriots situation, where it's kind of, the quarterbacks, it's just not as like it's just not a situation suitable is the word I was looking for a rookie quarterback, right? Or for any quarterback in general, right? You could be Patrick Mahomes. The situation in New England isn't suitable for him either, because the offensive line and the receivers are bad. So, I wanted to look at teams where the situations are better, and I think it's the 100% the quarterback's fault that the situation isn't better. And the complete opposite of the New England situation is the Cleveland situation. Listen, Deshaun Watson should not be starting NFL football games at this point. And we all know his off-field transgressions. He's kind of, we're all kind of like done with Deshaun Watson with off-field stuff. I think the Browns need to be done with Deshaun Watson on the field too, because listen, I know the Browns offensive line's a little bit banged up, and obviously Nick Chubb's out and Njoku's missed some time, but they've still got solid receivers. I'll take we just talked about receiving cores. I would take Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy and then the Patriots receiving core right now, because they would 100% be the two best receivers there, and they're two really solid receivers. You got Jerome Ford and Deontay Foreman. They're obviously solid running backs as well. And listen, the Kevin Stefanski scheme, he's a 2-time coach of the year. Like, he knows what he's doing as a head coach. Like, Kevin Stefanski is a really, really good head coach in the NFL. So again, that leads me to the issue. The problem with the Cleveland Browns is Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, I don't know if you saw this on Sunday, Joe. Dude literally just walked off the field on 4th and goal. Like, Kevin Stefanski wanted to go for it on 4th and goal. There was 20 seconds left on the play clock, and Deshaun Watson literally just started walking off the field. Like, no, I do not want to. We shouldn't go for it. And Stefanski's sitting there like, what are we doing, dude? Like, I'm literally telling you to go for it. And Deshaun Watson's like, nope, I'm just walking off the field. The dude literally straight up quit on his team. Like, he is also literally terrible at the position of football. I don't know if you saw this as well, Joe. He got strip sack fumbled on Sunday. Dude was literally just running in circles, like that game where, when you have the bat on your head and you got to spin around 20 times and then you got to try to hit the ball or whatever. That's what he looked like in the pocket. Like, he was literally just like spinning around, doing a whole lot of nothing in the pocket. I've never seen anything like it. It was terrible, and he is terrible. Like, I'm going to give you his ranks as far as where he ranks in the NFL. So he's got 852 total yards passing this season. That's 26th behind Bo Nix and Jordan Love, who's only played 3 games. His 60.2 completion percentage is 29th in the NFL. That's behind Tyler Huntley and Skylar Thompson. His 4.8 yards per attempt is 37th, literally behind everyone and their backups besides Bryce Young, who he's tied with. His 21 overall QBR is literally last among qualified quarterbacks, and his 74.8 rating is 28th behind Gardner Minshew and Skylar Thompson. So basically, he is the worst starting quarterback to not yet get benched. And again, we'll go back to the Patriots point. It's not like they're the Patriots where they're protecting their future, okay? The Browns are still trying to justify their past by playing him, okay? Stop making your mistake worse. You already made the worst trade in NFL history and gave him $250 million guaranteed. Admit it and move on. I think this offense is in the middle of the pack if you just replace him with Jameis Winston. Again, Jameis Winston's not like some great quarterback, okay? But if you just replace him with Jameis, I think this offense will be kind of a middle of the pack offense. And at least Jameis is, the Browns and Jameis's teammates will respect him. I think Deshaun's teammates and just the general public at large really have no respect for Deshaun Watson at this point. So I think you just got to admit that you messed up and move on. I think Deshaun Watson is the one that has got to go next.
I agree with a lot of what you said, man. Like, Deshaun Watson is not playing well. We did a video earlier where we were talking about some of the worst offensive lines in the league. The Cleveland Browns were listed on that list, with the Tennessee Titans and New England Patriots, who we've already discussed earlier in this video as well. But they're also literally the highest pressured team in the league at 69. They're the only team above 60 in pressures, and they're almost at 70. They're the second highest pressure percentage in the NFL. So the same thing that I'm seeing with New England, I'm kind of seeing with Cleveland. The only real difference is pocket time, where if you look at the pocket time in the NFL, Deshaun Watson has one of the highest pocket times in general. He's just holding on to the football too long. And like you said, you got studs in that wide receiver corps, so he's just not seeing the field. And so I will 100% agree with you that Deshaun Watson needs to sit down. Now, the question is, I think Jameis Winston's the backup there. We've been waiting for him to go. We've been waiting for him to get in there. I think Jameis Winston is a winning quarterback. He's definitely shown up time and time again in situations where, serviceable. He's going to get you what you need. I think that, they're going to be no worse off with Jameis Winston than they were with Joe Flacco last year.
Oh, yeah.
I think that this is perfectly fine. So I agree with you. That's where that needs to happen. The only other place, and it's kind of a little bit of a similar situation to the two teams we've talked about already, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think Will Levis, as far as a mean count goes, the guy is 1 for 1 every week.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to get you at least one mean count a week, but, he's questionable right now. He came out of that game late. Is Mason Rudolph really an upgrade? I don't think they have a viable quarterback option, but at the same time, you got quarterbacks out there, I think, that could thrive in that Tennessee offense with Calvin Ridley, with, DeAndre Hopkins, with Tony Pollard, and Tajay Spears. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't gone out and signed somebody, or, we already said, you got Bailey Zappi out there who's shown he can be serviceable when you give him a decent offense and some playmakers. Why not go get a Bailey Zappi to challenge with these guys who's got starting experience? He's put in a bad situation when he was in New England. He's sitting on the Chiefs practice squad for all I know right now. Go get him, go out there and put one of these guys in. But, the same thing said, we were looking at Anthony Richardson, who also hasn't played well, is in the bottom of a lot of the quarterback statistics. Joe Flacco's there. He played a pretty competitive game against, I believe it was the Jaguars this week.
Yep.
And they were in that game late until, the Jaguars kicked a game-winning field goal. They put up a lot of points. I think, if Anthony Richardson's really not ready, and, he's had injury concerns, he's been dealing with all these injuries, he consistently has missed games, in his first 2 years. I think, why not roll Joe Flacco out there and let Anthony Richardson sit a little bit? I mean, the problem, again, is that you spend a high draft capital on this guy, but, there's also a problem with drops in that offense. They're dropping the ball a lot. I think they're top 10 in drops up there. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions with all three of these teams. The Patriots, or I guess 4 of these teams now, because you've mentioned Cleveland, Tennessee, and Indianapolis, where there is not just the quarterback's fault, but it's clearly they're part of the problem. And it would not surprise me if one of these teams outside of New England makes a quarterback change very, very soon. I think the hardest one to make a change outside of Anthony Richardson is Deshaun Watson, because of everything you gave up for him, everything you traded, all the draft capital, all the financial commitment you gave. You gave up so much for this guy because of what you saw him have in Houston. He's never been that player since.
Nope.
And it makes you wonder if he was, we throw this all around a lot, a system quarterback. Billy O'Brien may have made Deshaun Watson. And I think that is becoming more and more apparent the further we get into this. And I don't see a way that Cleveland meets expectation unless they sit down Deshaun. And I don't know if the front office who has, I think they sold off on Baker too early. I think that they were good with Jacoby Brissett, but felt the need to sit Brissett down. They were good with Joe Flacco, let him walk. This is becoming clear that the Cleveland Browns problem is a front office issue.
Mm-hmm.
The Tennessee Titans problem may be a front office issue. And Indianapolis, I don't think it's a front office issue. I think they just, they have to develop their young quarterback. So, and New England, I'm starting to think it's an ownership front office issue.
Might
but
be.
We're going to find out if Drake May's ready, if these guys give her place. It's all going to happen. We are here for it.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.